Okay, today is June 3rd. It's about 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 8:23. So if it's not the same date and time where you are, this is being recorded. Otherwise, if it is, it's live. So let's see. So if there are any questions or anything you want to talk about, just put it in the comments. Eventually it'll come to me. There's a slight delay, so you'll have to wait a little bit until I get back to you. But give it a shot. Be very cool to see what you guys are up to today. It's a rainy, dreary day here in New York. Sun's just about to set. So I thought I had a few minutes. Thought I'd reach out to you guys and see what's going on. For those of you who may or may not know, we just put up episode 10 of the Hit Reset Radio podcast that I am part of with Dinky Dana. If you haven't checked it out, you can go to Hit Reset Radio on YouTube, or you can go to the link that's on my YouTube channel, or the link that's on Mamecade.com, or you can just go to the website www.hitresetradio.com, and it's up there, and we talk about a lot of cool things, the Xbox One, and talk about Ultima and Ultima Online, and the new versions of the Ultimas that are coming out from EA and from Richard Garriott, which isn't really an Ultima, but come on, he's the father of Ultima, so which would be Shroud of the Avatar. So I am going to just hang out and see if anybody puts some comments in. It takes a while again, so if I don't answer you instantly, it's because there is a pretty big delay between when you type and when I get it. So forgive me, I'm not ignoring you. Another thing, I'm trying out this YouTube live event. This is a Wirecast for YouTube. I've been having some trouble with it. So if it's coming across okay and the sound is good and the quality is good, let me know. I'm trying to tweak it to see if this is some way that would be good enough to communicate with you guys on a weekly basis, maybe. I do like talking to you folks, so we'll see how that works out. I don't know how long I'll be on tonight, so I'll let you know if I have to cut it early. We're just going to freeform this. Forgive the mic overhead. I got it on a boom, but it's in the shot, which I guess is a little annoying. Actually, I'd rather look at that than this face, so maybe it's a good thing. Focus over there. Alrighty, so I'm just going to set up my little area here and just wait a bit for anything that comes through. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tweet that I am on live. Let's see if that works. Don't know if it'll work. I'm going to do it on my iPhone and see if there's a way to get this out. Of course, my battery's 7%. Let's see. Okay, Paper Clown says sound and video is great. Alright, cool. Hey, so it seems to be working. Okay, so let's see. What do I write here? I'm on YouTube. On my channel. Live streaming. And if you don't subscribe to my Twitter account, please do. I'd like to have a few more people listen to my rantings. Again, you can find that also on my YouTube channel or Mamecade.com. Because I'm not even sure. I think it's just Mamecade on Twitter. You can find me. So let's talk gaming. probably spelled a whole bunch of stuff wrong. Which is, I have fat fingers. I always spell things wrong. Okay, I hear the ice cream man outside. I'm sure my wife's going to start screaming, "Ice cream!" and expect me to run out and get ice cream. That's not happening. Alright. Alright, tweet is out. Doo-doo. Wonder if you can hear the ice cream man. Alrighty. This thing is weird. It's such a weird system to do this Wirecast. It's like 10 parts to get this thing working, and it drives me crazy. It seems to be working right. I mean, thanks to Paper Clown letting me know, but it always bugs me out. The delay is annoying. Annoying. Alrighty. Do-do-do-do. Yeah, I'm working on some videos right now, trying to get some Mamecade videos up. It's been a long time since I put up a couple of arcade games and video game videos, so we'll try to work on that this week. My hope is to get at least one up this week. That'll be cool. Trying out some new equipment. Even though this is my standard video camera, I've got a new camera that I'm going to try to implement with the new videos that are coming up. I hope that works out well. It says my health is good. I guess that's my stream status, because I don't feel healthy. That's a lie. I'm fine. Be around to make videos for a while now. I don't smoke. I don't smoke. Never did, never will. Anybody has anything they want to discuss, just go ahead, type it in the comments, and I'll do my best to answer whatever your questions are. If you have any questions or comments or maybe observations or anything you want to talk about, anything at all. Remember this thing? It's Slinky, it's Slinky. Yeah, I got all these neat little... Does anybody remember the original metal Slinky? They make them out of plastic now. This is the way I used to have it as a kid. It's got weight, and it actually used to go down the steps because it had weight. Ooh, the plastic ones don't have that. They don't just work. They're just accordions for kids now. But these used to go down the steps. That was the big thing. And obviously, this was not intended to be a child's toy. Who the heck knows the story? I'm sure it's an interesting story how this became an actual favorite toy. Who knows? Maybe the 50s? I don't know. Perhaps the 50s. I'm not sure when this was actually invented. But the Slinky. Yo! Slinky's cool. Silly Putty has a great story behind it. If anybody knows the Silly Putty. That was created for the military. Somebody came up with it, and they thought it was actually a good way to use it as an espionage tool where you go into enemy camps and stamp it on their documents and blueprints and get it back to headquarters. The military didn't want it. The guy who invented it didn't know what to do with it. Turned out, makes a great toy. Turns out it makes a great toy. And you could put it on newspapers and get the ink off. Silly putty. I think you can make your own silly putty with like baking soda or baking powder and some other chemicals. It's cool stuff. Alright. I think there's about a 1 minute delay from when I actually say something and when you see it. It's annoying me. I have the volume off, but I see myself live and I see myself with the 1 minute delay. And it's bugging me out. It's exploding my brain. I can't take it. Alright. So the desk is a mess, as always. Got a lot of junk around here. Got one of these things. These quickly plug and play. This is the Commodore 64 plug and play into a standard TV. Comes with a bunch of games already on it. It's neat. Though not many TVs nowadays could use the RCA jacks that come with it. This is for the old-fashioned TV. So you have to use an adapter if you're using a flat screen, which is a drag, or if you have an old TV that you can get. Yeah, this is the Commodore one. It's made by... it's kind of scratched off. Matamooch? I don't know. Matamooch Toys. It's cool. And then I also have the Atari 2600 one. This is also a plug and play with a bunch of Atari games on it. And this one's made by... it's made by Adult Assembly Required. No, I don't know who makes this. Oh, Jack's Pacific, of course. Yeah. Jack's Pacific of Malibu, California. Which is cool, because the Atari 2600 originally was made in California. That's cool. So this is some of the stuff that's on my desk. A lot of junk. Being that I got all kinds of joysticks, I have an actual arcade joystick on my desk that doubles for a butt plug. But no, it's a joystick. Okay, what's your favorite gaming moment? My favorite gaming moment. Well, there's a couple of favorite gaming moments that are very burned in my brain. Obviously, if we're talking about arcade games, my favorite moment had to be actually on my own, without cheating and without buying any kind of magazines, beating the Dragon in Dragon's Lair after like maybe $500 worth of quarters pumped into it. That stands out. If you're talking about Nintendo stuff, I used to play Super Nintendo a lot with an ex-girlfriend. So that was great because Super Nintendo was always a precursor to sex. So I've got a lot of good memories of that. Going back even further, you actually said favorite, but one of the most disappointing was spending the money on the Atari Jaguar, being all excited from the reviews, and I am an early adopter instead of an early adapter. If you guys know the difference, an adopter is anyone that buys the latest gizmo just because it's the latest gizmo, and an adapter is someone that waits behind, watches it, sees if there's any bugs, any problems, and then spends the money. I'm maybe more of an adapter now, but back in the day I was an adopter, and I spent $300 and something for the Atari Jaguar because of the promise that it was going to be the next fantastic gaming system. What was it? Maybe 1994, 5? I forget what year that came in. What a piece of garbage that was. That was a real disappointment. I ended up buying just a couple of games, and I still have it. Just sits there. I probably haven't fired it up in all those years. All right, so, but you did say favorite gaming moment. Gaming moment meaning games. Oh, gee. Playing Metroid, of course. Fantastic. A lot of hours spent doing that. Commodore 64. Endless games on the Commodore 64. That's probably, if you're going to consider, even though it's a computer, a gaming system, it's probably one of my favorite things that I ever played games on. Played hours and hours and hours of Ultima on that, and so many other games. And back in high school, when that was the system that most people had in their homes for a personal computer, you could just copy games. People were constantly handing games back and forth. So everybody had a huge library of games. It was great. Illegal, but great. Not recommended. And then, of course, the Atari 2600. Fantastic memories of buying cartridges back then. Used to love the box art on Atari 2600. I mean the original Atari 2600 games, not the later ones that were made by all kinds of third parties that were just putting out all kinds of junk. But the original boxes and the original art on the actual cartridges were just beautiful, fantastic. In fact, just reminded me something. Oh man, what a drag. I'm looking for something I wanted to show you about the Atari 2600. I had an old catalog from, I don't even know what year it is, but it had all the pictures of all the games. And there was this one picture for Adventure, the Atari 2600 Adventure. Now, the cover of Adventure was kind of on the cutesy side, but in the catalog, the picture was a double spread, and it was an awesome picture of this warrior going up a flight of stairs and was going through this big castle with a dragon's like mouth. I gotta find that. That was awesome. I could have swore I had it on a shelf, and I don't want to take too much time looking for it. I have the lights off in here, so I'm having a hard time seeing it. But boy, that catalog was awesome. The art was great. Still love it. I don't know what some of my favorite cartridges covers were, but I kind of feel like a lot of the art covers looked like Nolan Bunchel, which is the guy who was behind the Atari 2600. If you're familiar with Nolan, I kind of feel like the cover of Warlords had a knight kind of guy with a helmet on, looked very much like him. And there were a couple other games that there was a dude that had a face very similar to him. That's just me, though, I think. I don't believe that was really the case. All right, so let's see. I guess, yeah, there's a lot of moments that I can't think of, I'm sure. A lot of great moments. A lot of them had to do with the arcades. A lot of them had to do with my dad taking me to the arcades as kids. Yeah, good stuff. Working for quarters, doing anything like bagging groceries at the store just so I can run to the local arcade. Or around here, back in the day, every pizzeria, delicatessen, any kind of corner store used to have an arcade machine in it just to kind of raise a couple extra bucks. So there was, going up and down the blocks, there would be all kinds of different games that you can play without actually having to go to an arcade. So that was cool. But that's a good question. Awesome. I don't have one singular gaming moment that I think is awesome, but just many good memories of gaming. You know, going to the Classic Gaming Expo was awesome. Meeting certain people that were behind the game's creation, talking to people that actually designed the games is fantastic. And it's weird, like you put people on a pedestal and then when you meet them, they're just normal people. At least I do. A lot of people don't want to meet famous people or people they idolize because they let you down sometimes, or you build them up so high in your head and then but got to meet a couple of nice people that were behind the Atari 2600 games. Oh, another game that I used to love playing was Dungeons and Dragons Treasure of Tarmin on the Intellivision system. Spent a lot of hours doing that. That was a good game. And I've got the Intellivision behind me somewhere in the darkness. Got them all somewhere in the darkness. Now, if anybody is into into Dungeons and Dragons like games, turn-based. They just released Warhammer for the iPad and iPhone. That's great. I'm having a good time playing that. Warhammer. It was like $4.99, but it was really, really good. I'm enjoying that a lot. I like turn-based games. I'm not really great at, first-person action games. I'm too old. Arthritis of the fingers. I can't push the buttons fast enough. Turn-based, you hit me, I hit you. I can handle that. That's cool. Let's see. Paper Clown says, I used to watch your videos all the time about 1.5 years ago. Why did you stop doing that format? Did you get burned out of retro? No, I didn't get burned out. I had a family. Wife got pregnant. Baby coming. Setting up the nest. Doing all that. And as soon as my daughter was born, I thought I'd have some more time. And she got pregnant again. Like back to back. So my daughter now is 2.5, and I noticed that you said 2 years ago. So my daughter's 2.5, and her I love arcade games. My daughter's name is Arcadia, which I think is the coolest name in the world. So had her, and then right after she was born, my wife got pregnant again, and now I have a son who just turned 1, and his name is Adriano. So, no more kids. That's it. For now, anyway. I gotta get back into gaming. So, that's the reason why I had to take a break. Making videos takes a lot of manpower, a lot of time. I was using really antiquated equipment, so I probably could have put them out faster if I was using a better software editor. In fact, 99% of all those videos that I've ever made was made on Windows Movie Maker, which, if you know, is the most basic, archaic piece of garbage to edit movies. And I used to do little tricks and stuff to make things fade away and come back, and do any kind of like glitzy graphics that I would use. It was like walkarounds and tricks. So I do have new software now. I have Premiere, so the next wave of videos hopefully should be a lot better. I hope. So let's see. Haha, I remember watching the video when you had the Dino Eggs creator on. That was a great video. Yes, David Schroeder. In fact, he contacted me recently, and he says that I suggested to him when we did the video that he really should make a modern version, maybe for an iPhone or iTunes related downloadable game. And I got his mind thinking, and I kind of feel responsible for this. So hopefully if he gets it off the ground, I feel like I have in some way pushed him to make a game, a remake of Dino Eggs. He got in contact with someone that is a programmer for these modern iOS games, and he's working in collaboration with him, and hopefully by sometime this year maybe there will be a new Dino Eggs out for iPhone and iPad. And you will definitely be hearing from me if that's the case. I'll give you an update. He emailed me a little while ago, so he told me an update that it's actually happening. So that's cool. I do want to do some more Meet the Makers series. I have a couple of people lined up. If I ever can get my stuff together, I want to do that again. That'd be fun. So let's see. We used to have a great arcade here in Milford, Connecticut. Milford Amusement. It was pretty much fun spot. Milford, Connecticut. Yes, I know where Milford is. Yeah, the arcades were great. That's something that you just can't replicate anymore. I have a neighbor that, I don't know how old he is. He must be just going into high school now. And I talked to him about the arcades, and he can't relate. He has no idea what I'm talking about, and I have nothing that I could reference to make him understand what it meant. That there wasn't anything at home that you can play like that. It wasn't. You would play Dig Dug, and that was it. It was at the arcade. And then when the video game consoles, when Nintendo started to put out maybe the Super NES, when the games actually started looking as good, almost better than the arcades, I knew that was the end of it. I knew it just, So yeah, when you find an arcade, it's awesome. Some places still have them. It's something in the past to be cherished at this point. Thank God for Mame, where you can play some of these games. So let's see. What else we get here? Super high-tech gamer. Wow, live. I always liked your channel. Cool. Yeah, I'm just trying out this live thing. YouTube offered it to me. Not everybody has it. They're all getting rolled out. Eventually, I'm sure you guys will have it too. It's called Live Event. So I'm just testing it out. It's kind of quirky, but yeah, live, coming at you. Okay. What do your family think about your hobby? That's a good question. My wife in the beginning totally embraced it, was right on board with me. We used to go hunting for pinball machines. She was right up there with me when I would bring them home, restore them, clean them. It was great. Now with the kids, the pinball machines don't get the love that they probably need. They take a lot of real estate up. So I had mentioned this in the past on different interviews that the pinball machines might at some point have to go, which is very sad, but it's true. So if you start seeing me making videos of my pinball machines, chances are they will be sold soon. It's something that I really started in 2007. It had a good run. Totally enjoyed it. Had a good time with it. The good news is they appreciate in value. So I don't think I'm going to take a loss on any of my pinball machines. Hopefully, unless the pinball machine market bottoms out. But so far, so good. Every year there's an official catalog that comes out with a price guide. And last I looked, probably last summer, I'm ahead quite a bit. Now, some of them I probably don't want to sell, so I might keep maybe 3 or 4 of them. In total, I have about 20 machines. And you can imagine 20 actual full-size pinball machines. Pretty huge. So my family, they actually... I mean, my wife is cool. She still likes it. She still knows I have the gaming hobby. You know, she lets me indulge myself and doesn't give me a hard time. I do my podcast. The videos, though, I do admit that I've neglected for a while, though they will be starting to roll out soon. The kids are a little older now that they can take care of themselves a little bit more, and I'd like to get some more videos out. That'd be cool. Let's see. What else? Hey, are you able to talk about the thing that you went to Google for? I'm pretty sure it was Google Glass. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, I got an invitation to go to Google to try out and test some of their products that they're working on. And I mentioned it. I forget what episode of Hit Reset Radio I mentioned it. I could probably talk about it now. It wasn't a problem. Back then I had to sign a non-disclosure and not talk about it. No, it was not Google Glass. It was not Google Glass. It was their counterpart to Apple's Siri. You know, Siri, when you push the phone, you get some kind of that little beep and tell Siri. So they're working on a Siri kind of clone, and I had to test it out. It was really great. That's my dog, sorry. It was really great because they asked me to try to trick it and confuse it and do whatever I had to kind of stump it. And I did a lot. It needed a lot of work. My final analysis of it was it's not ready for prime time. And they appreciated that. They told me, my dog's really annoying me. They told me they appreciated it. And I would stump it with questions like, I asked it, how old is President Obama? And it thought about it. And it came back and it said, President Obama is however old he is. X, 35 years old, 36, whatever the hell he is. 40, 50. So after it was all done, I tried Siri to see what Siri would say. And I said, how old is President Obama? And Siri came back with the same year and how many months, how many days, and how many seconds he is old, which blew me away. Like it. So, I mean, as far as Siri is, I think Siri isn't the greatest thing. I think Apple was banking a lot more on Siri. I'm not sure if it's them that kind of dropped the ball, not really pushing it. Their network not being able to actually handle it in the beginning kind of annoyed a lot of people. But I'm looking forward to the next iPhone iteration because I have the 4S. My wife has the 5, and I don't want to get the 5 because the next one hopefully will have like a lot of different stuff. 4 to 5 was virtually very little change. Better camera, different weight. This dog, I want to kill my dog. There's a window right here, and she's right at it, barking. Probably some kind of creature in the backyard. So yeah, my contract will be up this month, so I'm free to get a new one without penalty. I'll probably get a discount price. So yeah, it was the answer to Siri. It was Android's answer to Siri, and it sucked. It wasn't ready yet. All right, see what else. Here in Virginia, the only good arcade I know is Flippy McCoy's. What a great name, Flippy McCoy's in Virginia Beach. But it has a couple of hours away. They have Revenge from Mars there. Ooh, Revenge from Mars. That was a cool pinball machine. That was the Pinball 2000. That was supposed to revitalize the pinball industry. They put out Mars. Oh, wait, no. What am I thinking of? I'm thinking of Mars Attacks. I'm going to kill my... You know what? Sorry, guys. Hang on. Bella. Come here. Get inside. Sorry. Get inside. Get inside. All right. Sorry about that. I've got 3 dogs. They're big 3 Labradors, so... And one of my dogs is named Atari. Swear to goodness. So, I don't know, it was getting late. They might have seen something outside in the backyard and they were barking, so I had to take a break there. Sorry. All right, what else we got here? It's tough to keep and score pinball machines, but it's so much fun. Yeah, pinballs are awesome. Another thing that's gone. Actually, the only pinball company that really is turning a profit is Stern. I think they just released a Metallica pinball machine. I have to look into that. And of course, I spoke to Drew of Jersey Jack Pinball. I have a video of that when they have their the Wizard of Oz pinball machine. That was really cool. Actually, I'd like to talk to Drew again and do a Meet the Makers with him, because Drew actually made an arcade machine that is a very unknown arcade machine. It got it went under the radar, let's say, but he did make an actual arcade machine. So I'll talk to him again soon. Nice. Alrighty. I wish I could find that Atari thing I wanted to talk to you about. I don't know where I put it. I'm certain once I go there and this recording thing is not on, I will be able to find it instantly. It's really ticking me off. I apologize. Alrighty. Doodle-doo-doo. So as we wait for any more comments and questions, I will serenade you with a song. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 merrily. My slinky's quite mean. It catches your beard. Ow! I wonder how long the delay is between when you type and I get it. Yeah, there's a delay between the record times. Sucks. Well, you guys do what you gotta do. Type what you want. I'm gonna keep looking for that thing. Epic fail. I don't know where it went. Hang on again. Sorry. Alrighty, let's see what's come in here. Let's see. I didn't know you had a tattoo. Yes, I have a tattoo. I have only one tattoo. Yeah, I'll show it to you. Someone else mentioned, do you still do D&D as a family man? I do D&D. If you haven't seen my review on my channel for Neverwinter Nights, if you watch it at like around the 1 minute mark for another minute, I show every single D&D book I have like sped up, so you don't have to sit there watching it. There's a lot of books, so if you're interested in seeing how many D&D books I have, check out that video. As for the tattoo, it's D&D related. It's a battle axe. And that was the weapon of choice of my D&D character. So yeah, I'm a nerd. I'm a D&D person. What can I tell you? So yep, it's the only tattoo I got. Actually, my wife would play with us once in a while. She wasn't big in the D&D world, but she would always play MMOs with me. We used to play City of Heroes a lot together. And we used to play, I mean, all hours of the night, 3 in the morning, all sun rising. We used to play Warcraft together. She'd be in her office in the house, and I'd be in my office at the house, and we would have our headphones on, and we would play Warcraft together for hours and hours and hours. Even played it a bit when the baby was born, but the baby would sleep a lot in the beginning, so that was cool. So, yeah, let's see. What else we got here? Oh, they're coming in now. Let's see. Ninja Baseball Batman. You're right. Oh, give the man a cigar. Dark Globe 1977. He did create Ninja Baseball Batman. This is Drew from Jersey Jack Pinball. And we're going to talk about that. Now I have to get him on the show. I got to talk to him. That's a good game. All right. Just wondering, don't TVs in the U.S. have RGB? Like we in Europe have. I'm not sure what kind of TVs you guys have in Europe. They do have RGB, but older TVs. I assume you're talking about these things, these connectors. We call them RCA jacks. I assume that's what you're talking about. Older TVs have them. Now we have something called HDMI as an input source, pretty much. So let's see. I hope that's the correct answer. I'm not sure. I have to ask. I'll ask Chipsters. He's in England. He may have a different idea. Let's see. What is your favorite game that you are bad at? Mine is Donkey Kong. My favorite game that I'm bad. That's an excellent question. The game that I constantly go back to and I stink at. That I enjoy. I'm pretty bad. I'm very bad at Donkey Kong, actually. I much more prefer Donkey Kong Jr. I'm pretty bad at Donkey Kong. Let's see if I'm going to talk about arcade games. I'm okay at Dig Dug. Galaxians, I'm pretty bad at. I don't get very far in Galaxians. Oh, Gyrus. I love Gyrus, or Gyrus as some people pronounce it. That's a fantastic game, and I stink. I probably can get as far as Neptune. Is it Neptune? I forget the order. When you warp to Neptune, warp to Uranus, Jupiter. I forget. Maybe I can clear 3 stages, 4 tops. Love that game. Love the music. Obviously, Beethoven's. Or Beethoven or Bach? It's Bach, I think. Bach Fugue. Anyway, so yeah, that would probably be one of my favorite games that I love that I'm horrible at. And it doesn't make a difference what system we're talking about. I've played it on all different systems, and I stink at all of them. So that's my pick. Let's see. What are the pins you're thinking of selling? Oh, I just lost it. Ooh, what are the pins you're thinking about keeping if you had to sell them? What are the pins you're thinking about keeping if you had to sell them? I probably would not sell my Medieval Magic, Medieval Madness, and my Theater of Magic. That's a conjunction. Those 2 games, I put them as one. That'd be cool, Medieval Magic. So, Medieval Madness and my Theater of Magic. Those 2 I probably would keep. I have a Lord of the Rings that I like, but I'd probably let that one go. I have a Circus Voltaire that I like. I'll probably let that one go. Addams Family, that's going to go. I have a Simpsons game that's going to go. South Park, that's also. I have also a Cactus Canyon, which is an incredibly rare game. I'm on the fence about that. Don't know if I want to let that go because it's so rare. Black Knight, Whitewater. I mean, eventually they're all going to have to go. I'm going to keep maybe just 2 or 3 because of space and whatnot. But you're making me sad, man. You're bringing me down talking about this stuff. Let's see what else. I'm glad you and Dinky are back with the podcast. If you don't mind me asking, what happened with Vintage? Conflicting viewpoints on the direction of the podcast? Well, first off, Vintage, I love him. He's like a brother. Utmost respect for Vintage. I don't know if you want to say difference of opinions or not. I mean, like, every band that breaks up says things like that, but it wasn't really a breakup. We needed a little time off, I guess, Dinky and I. No matter what I say, it's going to sound like there's some falseness behind it or whatever. The bottom line is Vintage is a great guy. I totally respect him. I know he respects us. Vintage, if you don't know, has started his own podcast with NES Complex. They're fantastic. You should check him out. We just started ours again, so basically it's a win-win for you guys. You've got 2 podcasts to listen to now, and hopefully we won't overlap on too many things. We try not to. Obviously, we don't want to overlap and step on other people's toes. But sometimes big things come out that many people talk about at the same time simultaneously. So yeah, he's got a great show, Retro Rejects. You can look at him up, subscribe to him. I would recommend him. He's great. Good old Vintage. And Dinky and I are going to trudge on with what we're doing. We're probably going to do some juggling with how the show is put together. This last one that we did was put together. We're a little rusty, admittedly. I know I was. Next episode, we'll be talking about E3 and what developed in E3. So that should be a very interesting episode. I'm going to stay tuned for it myself. Okay, let's see. Moving on. Damn, there's a lot of lag between everything. The comments suddenly blew up. Yeah, this is what I'm saying. This Wirecast for YouTube, that's what they call it, is terrible. Obviously, you're seeing them too. I didn't know that you're seeing them. All right, but yep. Hopefully this will pick up. It'll be better soon. All right. Let's see. What else we got here? Hey, I just wanted to show you the support regarding this live format and wish you the best. Improvising like this takes a lot of courage, and it's admirable. Kudos and great job so far. Classic gaming Bcast. Oh, I appreciate that. That's awesome. I really do appreciate it. Yeah, when you're live, you don't know what's going to happen. Questions come up. it's fun. I mean, I love talking to you guys. I wish I was more active with the Twitter feeds and getting them and stuff. So feel free, leave comments. I'm open target right here. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be on. It's approaching on my side 9:10. By the time you hear me say the word 9:10, it'll probably be 9:20 or something like that. And I've got a mosquito buzzing around my head. Whoa, that's a big one. All right. So let's see. But thank you. I appreciate that. I really do appreciate it. I don't know about taking courage. It doesn't take courage when you do something that you really enjoy and love. And I really do love hearing from people that consider me entertaining. So thank you. Now, let's see. All I got is awesome from somebody. I don't know what we're saying awesome to, but yay, you're awesome. Let's see. PC on me. What's going on? PC on me. Welcome to the party. We're just talking. We're just chatting. Anything you want to know, anything you want to talk about. I'm just answering your questions. Nothing really. A big old mosquito. God dang it. Okay, Street Fighter 2, question mark. Street Fighter 2. I love Street Fighter 2. I'm not good at it. Another game that I used to play. Chun-Li. That was my character in Street Fighter 2. I thought she was awesome with the kicks, and every once in a while you got to see a little bit of butt in the skirt lift up, so hey, I'm cool with it. I used to especially be good on it on the home systems on Nintendo, on the Super NES. I was excellent on that. But the arcade, nah, I sucked. I sucked ass on them. Let's see, no RGB connector. No, it's not. I didn't think it was. No RGB. Really great to hear your wife games too. Yeah, she does. She does. Not as much as I do, obviously. She's got bigger things to take care of right now. She got 2 bigger things to take care of right now with the kids. But she definitely games. One of the reasons why I married this girl is because she would come over and play video games with me. I remember I broke up with an ex-girlfriend back when it was in flux. Ex-girlfriend was going out, new girlfriend was coming in, which was my wife-to-be. And the old girlfriend came in the house one day when I was playing a video game. I forget what I was playing. I was playing some kind of console with the new girlfriend, and my old girlfriend was not a gamer, never understood gaming, never understood any of that. And she was like, what is she doing? I'm like, we're playing video games. And she just couldn't register, and I think that's when she knew it was over. So when you listen, guys, if you're single and you get a girl that likes to play video games with you, that'll sit there and play the Wii, play with your Wii, and I don't mean the one that's attached to your body, you stick with her. Keep with her. She's a good one. All right, let's see what else we got. Gyrus is great. Gyrus is awesome. I love that game. Gyrus. Doodaloo. Konami. All right. Oh, Cactus Canyon is pretty sweet. It's on Pinball Arcade right now. Yeah, well, the new tables are pretty awesome that you can play all these old games, because the chances of someone actually playing a pinball machine like that, Cactus Canyon, you'd have to go to like the Papa, I'm getting eaten alive by mosquitoes, the Papa events out in Pennsylvania, or the Pinball Hall of Fame places, or some really established place to have a game like that. That game itself, very few went into production, and I actually have under a big tarp a Joust pinball. Joust, like the Williams, the birds flapping Lansing game pinball machine. That's incredibly rare. It's a head-to-head where you'd face your opponent. 2 guys would face each other and play. 400 wherever made back in, I guess, the 80s maybe. How many of those actually survived? So that one's not. I don't even play that one. It's all covered up. Yes. So let's see. Opinions on new consoles. Okay, well, I have PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, I have the Xbox, I have the Xbox 360, I have the Wii. I don't have the Wii U, but I've played the Wii U. Vintage and I went to Nintendo World in Manhattan and actually played the Wii U before it went public and was sold. We were both unimpressed. I played the Wii U at the New York Comic Con in August last year before it was released. It's okay. It's okay. I mean, Nintendo puts great, enjoyable games together. I don't know how immersive. I wouldn't call any Nintendo games immersive. That's not slighting Nintendo. I think they're a great company, and they put out products that people want and expect from Nintendo. We mentioned in our last podcast how Nintendo doesn't do E3 announcements. Is not planning to do an E3 announcement this year, and I suspect it's because they're doing the Nintendo Directs on their website about their products, and they know that their gaming system is not really comparable with the Xbox One and the new PlayStation. So why put yourself in a position where, if we're talking about games, because we've already all explained what our systems plan to do with tablets and all the little connectivity issues. So now if you're talking about games only, why would Nintendo put themselves in a position where they look like they're not as good as their competitors? So I think that's why they pulled out. I've not read that anywhere. That's just the old noodle coming up with conspiracy theories. But I do like Nintendo. I've always liked Nintendo. I've pretty much had virtually every Nintendo product except the Wii U. I don't know if I'll get the Wii U. I may or may not. Again, the old John would have bought it instantly because I was an early adopter. Now I'll wait. Would I get the Xbox One? I don't know. I have a lot of reservations about that too. So we'll see. I do like my PC games. I play a lot of PC games. I do appreciate those. They're cool. Let's see. What's your most recent game purchase? Well, on Dinky Dana's recommendation, I'm picking up the BioShock, the new BioShock game. I haven't played it yet. I know a little bit about it. I know the reviews that are coming out. So that's going to be my next game that I'm playing. Absolutely. I am playing the beta of Neverwinter Nights, so I'm kind of tied up with that. I do a lot of iOS games. I mentioned the new Warhammer game on the iPad, which is fantastic. Turn-based D&D fighting game. That's fantastic. So that's where I'm playing a lot of stuff now. It's because I'm on the go and I'm really limited to time. I play a lot of stuff on iOS. I'll play it on my iPad before I go to bed. Play it on my iPhone on the way to work. I take the train sometimes into Manhattan. So that's what I'm doing with that. Okay. I have Pinball Arcade for my Ouya, highly recommended game. Ouya. I remember when I first mentioned Ouya, people thought I was crazy. I didn't break the story, obviously, but that's cool. Highly recommended. It's that good, huh? That's an interesting system. I forget what's the competitor for that system. It looks just like the Ouya, except it's standing on its corner, if you know what I'm talking about. It's another Android open source system. It costs a little bit more than the $100. I think it's like $125, I want to say. I don't know what it is. I can't remember the name of it. I'm feeling like a dope for not knowing it. You guys might know what it is, but there is a competitor, direct competitor to that system. So, cool. Well, I'm getting eaten alive here. I must have let some mosquitoes in. Ooh-wee. Hate me the mosquitoes. It's summertime. Alright, so I wonder if the comments again have been lagged up. They have stopped coming in. Doo-loo-loo. Okay. Well, while the comments catch up with themselves, I'm going to keep trying. Keep looking for that thing I want to show you. Ha ha ha. This is what I was talking about. The Atari 2600 catalog, 49 game programs. The year on the back of this is the original, actually. It's not a reprint. 1982. 1982. Excuse me, I have to sneeze. Pardon me. Okay. And the picture I wanted to show you was for Adventure. It actually might be the centerfold. Okay, so now if you remember, the cartridge picture was this. That was on the cartridge. This dragon with keys and a little castle in the back. No problem with that. I dig it. But the picture that used to blow me away. Ah, here it is. If you could see. How cool is that picture? How cool is that picture? Now, being a kid who loved D&D and loved fantasy, this thing was just awesome. I wish this was in the box when I was a kid. And this is the section of the book that's labeled Adventure Territory, which every section in this book is broken down into types of games. So Adventure would be in here, Haunted House, and Superman. Atari only considered those three games Adventure Territory. Haunted House was an awesome game. Superman, another one of my favorites. Funny, 3 of my favorite games is the only thing that they considered in 2 to be adventure games. They didn't consider Berserk to be adventure. I guess they consider that space. And for space, see now space, they actually did use the picture that was on the asteroids cart. Whoops, there we go. That was cool. And for space, they considered Berserk, Star Raiders, Asteroids, Defender, Missile Command, Space Invaders, Space War, Yar's Revenge. Excellent. Yar's Revenge is great. Love that game. So yeah, this is what I wanted to show you. It's great. They had a lot of sports games too. Now, I mentioned earlier in the beginning, for those who weren't here, that I thought that the cartridges, the art on the cartridges were fantastic for the Atari 2600, and I mentioned that Nolan Bushnell, who was the father of the Atari 2600, I suspect the artists would draw characters that kind of looked like Nolan, and I've never read that anywhere. It's just my opinion. Now, here's one of them. This is on Warlords. If you know what Nolan Bushnell looks like, this guy right here, I think that kind of looks like Nolan Bushnell, a handsome-looking Nolan Bushnell. That's one example, and I know there were other examples where the dude sort of looks like... Okay, let's look at Othello. Othello, this chap right there. That's pretty blurry, I know, but there's a couple of iterations. You guys could check it out by looking up stuff yourself. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm right. I don't know. A quick Google search would probably solve this conundrum, but of course, I'm not going to do it. I'm afraid of getting the answer. Doo-doo-doo. Was that the only one? I know there's more. I'm pressed for time. Anyway, Atari 2600 rocked. I milked that system for everything it was worth. I know you youngsters don't know what the heck I'm talking about, but look at the wood grain finish. This thing. You would put the cartridges inside this part. How awesome is that? And then there was a dust cover that would cover it. And a lot of... this is reminiscent of old record players. Record players used to have dust covers that would cover it. Man, good times, good times. All you Nintendo fanboys, there'll come a time when you're old like me, and you will be nostalgically waxing about the Nintendo system to your fans, friends, kids, when they talk about their new holographic system that it has 3D effects in surround sound, hologram, holodeck style, and you will miss the good old simple days of 64-bit. All right, let's get back to any questions that came in. All right, some people came in here. I think you meant... Is it Onive? I don't even know how to pronounce these names. Dude, I saw it in an article, and the old noggin, I don't remember it, but you may be right. I know there is a competitor to the Ouya. I want a Ouya. That'd be perfect to play when at work with me. Yeah, Ouya. Ouya sounds promising for $99, $100. What's your favorite game? What's your favorite game? Jeez. I don't know. See, you got to be specific. What console are we talking about here? All right, Atari 2600 favorite game is Adventure. We just talked about that. Arcade game favorite game is my Dragon's Lair, which I have behind me, quickly followed by my Spy Hunter, which is behind me as well. Nintendo favorite game, I guess Metroid, followed by Zelda, or maybe Zelda followed by Metroid. I'm not sure. Both of them neck and neck. Let's call it a tie. Super NES. There were a lot of cool games for the Super NES. I used to like to play Out of This World. Do you remember Out of This World? That was a crazy butt game. Yeah, I mean, I used to rent games from Blockbuster, so there was no favorite. I would just get it, bring it back. I never really bought any game. I guess all the Mario World games, those, no-brainer. Those were the best. Those were the most immersive games Nintendo could put out, if you're going to call it immersive at all. So, yeah, and Commodore 64, my favorite would be Ultima, most fantasy games, all the what is it called? What were those? Who was the company that did Zork? Info something. Those old text-based games. Used to love that. What else on the Commodore 64? There's a lot of games on the Commodore 64. I should really do more Commodore 64 reviews. Time. Lack of time is my enemy. Alright. People really need to stop treating it like it's a war. The whole console war idea is stupid. The idea of competitors considering it a war is really old as competition. If you guys are old enough to remember the Cola Wars, where Coke and Pepsi were head to head, that was the biggest thing, and then they both cycled their commercials off of those for forever. Console wars, I mean, listen, you've got more than one system. They're virtually on the same plane technologically, so of course they're going to fight for the same gamers. I'm a jerk that bought all three systems when they first came out, last generation. Not everybody has the luxury to do that. I don't have the luxury to do that today, whereas I did when I was a single guy. So I'm not going to rush out and buy all three systems. So it becomes a war for people's dollars. I totally get it. I totally get it. It is stupid. Yeah, you could like just let the best system win, that kind of thing. But the reviewers are going to label it a war anyway. It is stupid, but I don't think the consoles would say it's a war. Unlike the soda manufacturers said it was a cola war. They won't call it a war. You know, it's the entertainment. We just want to entertain you. But the reviewers would certainly lump it as a war. Oh, well. Okay. Let's see. Is that a Twilight Zone pinball machine? Why, yes. Yes, it is. Yeah, that's my Twilight Zone. That's a wide body, which means it's wider than the standard pinball machine. I forget the dimensions of a I used to know all these specs, but it's wider. And this is my basement, so to get down here, I have to go down a flight of steps from the outside, make a turn, and wind in through two doorways. That took three guys to kind of get it in there. That was very hard. I thought I had to take off the head and try to get that in. Indiana Jones is also a wide body, so both of those were a biatch to get in, and I don't know if they're ever going to get out. If I ever sell this house, I'm going to have to sell them with the pinball machines, I think. Yeah. And I love Twilight Zone because if you ever listen to the Twilight Zone song, if you guys aren't old enough, anybody in the 80s, Golden Earring was the name of the band that made the Twilight Zone song, which is not the we're not talking about that one. That's not it. It's a beat, like a rock and roll beat. Golden Earring. They made a song called Radar Love. If anybody knows that, I'm showing my age. Anyway, the Twilight Zone song is in this game. It's kind of like a bassy do 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 do. Anyway, cool. They got the rights to that. Steve Ritchie, the designer of the game, got the rights to that song, which is cool. Let's see what else we got here to talk about. Let's see. Wow, cool. There's some good things to talk about here. What are some of the retro game podcasts you recommend? I know a few. VGO, AGG, Hit Reset, but not many especially. Okay. If you don't know, Vintage Video Game Geek has moved on and left Hit Reset Radio, and he's on his own podcast. If you don't know that, it's the Retro Rejects, which is very good. It stars him and NES Complex, two excellent personalities. They do a very good show. They have 2 episodes in the can right now. They're working on their 3rd, so I would recommend them. Let's see. Operation Killscreen, run by Jumble Junkie, and it's a good podcast too. To be honest, I don't listen to a lot of gaming podcasts other than our close friends here that mentioned. I listen to a lot of science podcasts. I listen to other geeky kind of things. You know, Neil deGrasse Tyson is a great icon of mine. I love him, so I follow his Twitter feed and his podcast. So yeah, there you go. Let's see what else we got. Are you going to get Knights of the Republic for the iOS? I have had my finger on it several times, ready to pull the trigger. I have not done it yet. I don't know what is keeping me from doing it. I've looked at it. It looks awesome. I did get Baldur's Gate, the enhanced version, on the iOS, which is fun. But no, I haven't gotten it yet. I probably will down the road, being that I play iOS games all the time. But I got tied up with this Warcraft one, so I'm gonna wait, play it out, because otherwise I'll be juggling and not concentrate. Unlike Dinky Dana, I am not a dedicated player that will spend 12 hours on one game in one sitting. So I'll get it eventually, probably. Probably. All right. There should be a way to stop the scroll of comments when I want it to, but that's what's having a hard time. Every time somebody puts something in, it drops it down. Do you have any favorite memories playing tabletop RPGs? Oh my god. Yeah, D&D. D&D literally consumed my life during high school. All I did was play D&D. I would forego education. I would forego lunch. I would forego free periods to play D&D. And we would play D&D with one 20-sided die that I would have in my pocket. I was always the DM. Dungeon Master, for those who don't know. And I would sit there in class writing up the adventure. And my teammates, my other classmates that we used to play with, we would get into the school about 8 o'clock or 7:30, find a little corner, gather around and sit on the floor and roll the dice. And we had this great system where we used the 1 die 20 just to make it simple, because D&D was not allowed in the school. It was an all-boys school, of all things. Very, very uppity kind of school, so that we couldn't have dice. So we would play, basically, if you got a 15 on your roll, you hit. A 15 would be a decent hit. Anything higher, depending how high up the scale, would be a better hit. Obviously, 16 was a better hit. 17 was a better hit. And the DM would just say, okay, the creature is hurt that much, or it didn't have to roll. We didn't keep track of hit dice. We didn't keep track of hit points. No one ever died. They were always incapacitated, because we were on the fly, playing between classes, homerooms, lunch. I mean, in the cafeteria, we'd all huddle and rush eating our sandwiches as we were playing D&D. So yeah, high school totally enveloped me. D&D was everything. Everything. In fact, I've got a whole bunch of unfinished novels, novelettes, short stories, very D&D oriented. Eventually one day I will publish them. Especially now that you can self-publish on Kindle. That'd be cool. How would you like to read a D&D inspired Mamecade book? All right, so let's see. What book is that? Oh, I guess you're referring to that is the 1982 Atari 2600 games catalog. That's what that was. All right. Oh, Game Stick. Yes, I think that's it. I think it is Game Stick is what I'm thinking of. I believe that is it. Game Stick. That sounds like it. All right. How do you get all the MAME games to work? There are always seem to be issues. Yes. Okay, it's very important that the ROMs that you get match the MAME emulator you have downloaded. If they don't match, you're gonna. I'm scratching my arms because I'm getting bit. If they don't match, they're not gonna run. So you have to match them up. You have to look at the checksum. There is some program checksum, and it's CHEKSUM, something like that. That kind of tries to upgrade and downgrade ROMs to work with whatever you have. You just got to look for the right MAME version. I don't know what I'm using, which one I'm using. I am using... The current one that I'm using right now is old, and there's no reason why to get a better one. MAME UI 32.0.122U1. Okay, so that's what I'm using. Plays about, I don't know, over 4,000 games. More than enough that I could ever do reviews for. So... yeah, MAME is tricky. It is a little tricky. So you got to get them to work together. Infogram. Is it Infogram? All the Zork games, Infogram? I don't think it's an Infogram. Infocom? Infogram is a more modern game company. Like they were a French company that bought Atari. I'm going to have to look it up. I don't want to look it up because I'll mess up my feed, but I'm pretty sure... maybe... Nah, you know what? I'm going to look it up on my phone. I don't think it's Infogram. I'm pretty sure it's not. And if I am wrong, I will apologize. So let's go to Wikipedia and put in Zork. Does anybody remember the browser version of Zork that came out a few years ago? Okay. Okay, so here it is. Zork gameplay, platforms. Oh, for crying out loud. Who made it? Infocom. Yes, I was right. Infocom. Yep, there you go. Give one to Pio. Alrighty, so let's see. What else we got? Yep, PC on me. Thank you. You think I should scroll these a little faster? You guys have told me, and I'm not even reading it because I'm so down below here. Is there a good place to find screen caps of main games to help you find the ones you forget the names of? Something like that. Oh, I see what you're saying. You need to go to KLOV, KLOV.org or .com. KLOV is Killer List of Video Games. KLOV has every arcade game ever. You can just go alphabetically. You can have it hit randomly and it'll search for it. So yeah, KLOV. KLOV is awesome. We love KLOV at Mamecade. I'm getting eaten alive, brothers. Okay. KLOV. KLOV. Talking about the video game wars. I don't mind companies doing it, but gamers should get along more. Yes, gamers should definitely get along more. You're absolutely right. I agree. We should all come together in harmony and love and peace and not crap on each other. Who's got the better version of the same game that the producers put out for every single system, making money with, oh, we're going to have original content, special unlockable for the Xbox, or a special unlockable. I think Arkham City pissed me off doing that. Hate them that they all do the same game. It's annoying. Okay, so let's see. Why did you set the other live videos you did private? I didn't like them. Thought they were pretty crappy. And they weren't very entertaining. But yeah, I did. Maybe I'll leave this one up. I don't know. See, maybe we'll make a whole section of live things. That might be an interesting little idea. All right, so we'll do that. Price point on the new consoles and your view on this. Price points. I think they're acceptable for what they do and what we're going to get out of them. They're definitely expensive, no doubt about it, in my opinion. Not everybody's going to be able to afford it, especially younger kids, unless the parents are going to be behind it. And maybe that's the reason why they're so integrated now with, you know, like the Xbox One, where you can have a football game on it and do all kinds of things with the tablet. And so it doesn't become just a thing for the kids to play, or young people who have a summer job that might not be able to raise a couple of $100 to play a new system and then to get $50-$60 for a new game or downloadable. So yeah, they're a little expensive, but to be expected. I mean, for crying out loud, back in the 80s when I was buying Atari 2600 cartridges, they were $35 new in box, and that was in the 80s. That was a lot. Considering now a game is about $50, it's $20 more. Less than 20, not that bad. So, yeah, it is what it is. The market will dictate the price. You know as well as I do, if it doesn't sell, they drop them. You know that. Nintendo's done it many times. Doesn't sell, the price goes down until they find equilibrium. Economics 101. Okay, so Okay, let's see. Mame gets tricky, especially when dealing with CHDs, yeah. Like trying to play Killer Instinct. That was hard one to work with. Sometimes like Neo Geo, you need BIOS for these files in ROM folder. Yeah, I'm definitely telling you, it's not easy. You might find collections all put together and bundled on BitTorrents. If you want to gamble looking at BitTorrents, I don't recommend it, because you never know what you're going to download on your computer. So I'm not telling you to go look on BitTorrents that have complete packages of ROMs and MAME put together, but it is an option. So download at your own risk. I do not recommend it. I use Hyperspin with my MAME. Oh, Hyperspin is awesome. I gotta show you what I did one day. Let me see some. Again, I am gonna take a little walk. Let's see. All right, check this out. Now, everybody knows, or at least I thought everybody knows, that I made my own MAME cabinet out of wood. And what I did was I wanted to make it like a piece of furniture, so I used a lot of polyurethane. I didn't do the traditional black. So this is the original, I have it upside down? No. The original control panel that I did for it. It's made out of wood. Let's see. As you can see, very shiny, very glossy, very furniture-like. And I have a trackball, and I have a spinner. And the spinner is for games like Tron, trackball, games like Centipede. Of course, here are the cutouts for the buttons, for the fire buttons. And I did a very simple layout. This would be player 1, player 2 up here. This layout basically would have been run, jump. And what did I do? Oh, I'll still leave it. So run, jump, these two buttons, and then this one would be for the joystick. Would come through here. So that's what it is. Very cool. Show you the back of it. Okay, here is the connection for the trackball, and here's the connection for the spinner. Spinner works very similar to a mouse. There's a wheel with all little holes in it, and it goes through a ring here that detects all the little empty spaces, and it knows by how many degrees to move the character, or your sprite. And I mean, this is really, really archaic. I had to cut this out to make a little depth. And that goes for this square would go into that hole, so it would be sunken to be the right height because this wood is 3/4 inch. And then with a router, I went around the edges and made a nice round beveled edge and a lot of polyurethane. So one day I'll show you the actual Mame machine. It's not the prettiest thing, granted, but it works just fine. I made it in 2000. It was my first attempt and my only attempt right now. I was going to make another one. I bought the wood. It sat in the garage for quite a bit, and then another project came up where I needed the wood, and I cannibalized the high-grade, expensive wood that I bought for it. Maybe I'll make it again. I don't know, but 2 kids. No, 2 kids. Don't. See? You got me going. No Mame. No Mame. We got a Mame machine already. Okay. Lately I've been having trouble with my midway games. I guess you mean on Mame. Man, it always upsets me when I hear people can't play Mame games, and they ask me, and it's hard to give an answer because obviously it's a matter of communication between and reading the ROMs with whatever version of Mame you're using, and there's so many versions. And I don't get involved with putting downloadable Mame programs on my website, only because I don't want to have anybody give me any trouble or hassles or order me to take it down. I just don't get involved in it. So I don't even know where to recommend some safe sites because, again, I get viruses all the time. I can't tell you how many times I've wiped out my hard drives because I've downloaded something that tricked me. Man, I hate that. All right, let's see. You ever play the first Metal Gear Solid? Did you like it? I did play the first Metal Gear Solid. I liked it, but probably not nearly as much as most people like it. And that's not to say it's a bad game. I do like the game. I don't know. It didn't capture me, or I don't know why I didn't like it a lot. I have friends that love it. They love Snake. So I would be lying if I said I adore it. I don't. Nothing wrong with the game. I haven't picked up a Metal Gear game in quite a while. I probably should. I probably need to be schooled. So, yeah, there's your answer. Don't hate me for it. Don't judge me. Let's see. Okay, so you guys are talking amongst yourselves. That's fine. Oh, awesome control panel. Wanted to make my own panel-like arcade stick for Mame games, but with flight stick, it's not good for retro games. I play with a flight stick. Okay, yeah. It's not hard. Lots of stuff on the internet. You could find out how to make one of these suckers. It's really not hard. If you need the components, you can go to HAPS, HAPPS.com. They've got all this stuff. The spinner, I couldn't find there, so I had to buy the spinner third party, probably off of eBay. I don't remember. But now, like trackballs, the simple black one that I have, now they have like funky doodle ones that glow colors with LEDs built inside the ball. Like, I mean, really psychedelic. They look cool, but it was a little over the top for me. But yeah, you could find these things on the internet. I was going to make a cocktail one once. In fact, I cut the wood for the cocktail table, and I bought the computer. Well, I had an old computer, and I never put it together. Okay. Oh, there's my friend Sid, old school NYC gamer. What's up, Sid? How are you? Good to hear from you again. Sid's good people. If anybody needs to check out Sid's channel, he's excellent. Talks about classic games. He has quite a library of systems and games, and he dumpster dives across New York City looking for all the classic games. He's awesome. Check out Sid's channel, Old School NYC Gamer. Selfless plug, Sid, you owe me. Valve games, Portal or Half-Life, played either? Yes. Portal. I like the concept of Portal. I get a good ways in, and then it blows my mind. I have a friend named James who is a Portal fanatic, and he loves Valve games. I do like Portal. I enjoy it. Half-Life, I like that too. I thought when they came out with Half-Life 2, the graphics, the characters' faces, and the way they spoke was great. It was probably the best mapping that was out at that time. Didn't finish it. Laziness. But excellent games. Both excellent games. I prefer Portal. And I purposely annoy my friend by saying Portals with an S. Drives him nuts. But I know it's Portal. Okay. Remember punching that guy in Haunted House? That story was phenomenal. Yes. The guy I punched was my first girlfriend's brother, and he was a bully, and he hated me because I was dating his sister. And I punched him. If you want to hear that story, go back to Hit Reset Radio, the Halloween episode, and I think it's episode 9, and check it out. It's pretty funny. I get to punch somebody in the face in the dark and get sweet, sweet revenge. Fantastic. I'm glad you like that story. That's a good story. That's what made Hit Reset Radio really fun to listen to. Little anecdotes like that. It's awesome. Okay, let's see. Paradise or cool, sites for Mame, things you know. Wink, nod, wink. You could find them. Wink, not wink. I mean, they're both fine sites. I think they're both okay. Yeah, I haven't downloaded ROMs in ages, so again, I don't want to direct anyone on where to get the ROMs. Get them from a reputable source if you can. If you know somebody that has ROMs already that wouldn't mind burning some CDs for you or DVDs for you with the ROMs, that's definitely the best way to go. There you go. Wink, wink. It's awesome. Do you think classic arcades could be viable today? I think about all the time. Sadly, no. I don't think arcades would be viable today. The problem with the arcade today is number one, it's too dang big. Takes up too much real estate. Each one that I have weighs about 200 pounds. I think in the case of my Spy Hunter, it's closer to 300 pounds. They're not viable. I mean, where would you put them? You mean actual have arcades again? Unless it would have to be a gimmick, some kind of like the way Chuck E. Cheese, when it first came out, was a gimmick. We sell pizza, we sell parties and arcades at the same time. But I remember in the 90s, there was like a resurgence of that where it was like a dating scene where people who wanted to hook up with other people would go in a large bar, and there were these consoles all over the place with little cameras like the camera I'm speaking to now. And on a screen, you would see different parts of the bar, and there'd be different girls and different guys, and you would then put a quarter or something in the machine, push a button, and it would zoom to that camera, and then the machine that was in front of that girl would light up, and then she would know there's a call coming in from someone in the room, and then she'd see you. If she wanted it, she'd push it and put a quarter in, and then you guys would connect. She's only 20, 30 feet away. But this is the way this bar worked. It had all these machines. It was the icebreaker sort of thing, you know? It didn't work. I know it's not a game, but it's a use of technology that you put quarters in. I wish it could work. I wish I could think of what would be that glue, that cohesion that would bring arcades back, but you would have to probably... I mean, think about it. We can play these games at home now. We could play them on our phones. Why would we want to, unfortunately, have that? Unless there was something, a social reason to do it. A competition reason to do it. Perhaps, a competitive. I remember when Guitar Hero was big. Bars would have Guitar Hero hooked up and people would compete. And the bar would make money and they would pay an entry fee and compete to do this. Which I never did. That's what you need. Something like that. All right, let's go back here. Old school NYC gamer, are we doing a pizza party at your place sometime later this summer? Yeah, Sid was at my place last year. Was it last year, Sid? You ate some pizza. Probably not. Probably not. Not because I have a problem with you, Sid, but just I don't know if I'll have that again this year. Okay, what part of NY are you from? Well, you can't tell from my accent. I'm from Brooklyn. Brooklyn, New York. Yeah, good old Brooklyn. Born and raised. Brooklyn, no sleep till... Okay, my love for arcades will never die. My grandfather owned a putt-putt golf. Cool. And so I grew up with it till I was 16. I will never forget it. Yeah, you're lucky. Yeah. And like I said earlier, you have a memory that you can't really truly explain to anybody today. It's something that you had to be there to appreciate it. People before the arcade generation didn't get it. People after the arcade generation won't get it. So we are the few that have gone through that, and it was short-lived. In the grand scheme of things, it was a blip in video gaming history. It was a blip. So we are the lucky ones. Let's see now. Let's see. The only way I could see arcades working again if it's like a bar scene or something similar. Yes. Okay, that's what I was talking about. In Brooklyn, there's a very famous bar called Barcade, where they have like maybe, I want to say like 80 beers, all different kinds of beers, and all kinds of classic games that they rotate every once in a while. Barcade is expanded to New Jersey, and now they're opening one in Manhattan. So yes, but they're old games. They're not the new games. It's the nostalgia. Because the bar drinkers at that time, they're looking for people, I guess, in their 30s, or young people that are willing to experiment by dropping a quarter in the machine. Again, if you were 21 and you went into a bar and your goal was to pick up a girl, would you walk up to a machine and stick your face in it and drop quarters in it and play with it instead of socializing, mingling, and picking up girls? Probably not. So if you're my age or thereabouts and you remember machines like that, then yeah, it's a nostalgic factor. Obviously, they're successful. They're making money with Barcade, so it's working. It's very cool. It's very hipster-like. It's in a very hipster area of Brooklyn. Let's see. When was the last time you saw the guy you punched in the face? I saw him. A little over 2 years ago. He's now married. He is married to a classmate that I went to grade school with. This girl, Teresa. He has no idea I punched him in the face. In fact, I introduced him to my wife. We kind of bumped into each other. It was very cordial. I think he's grown up. I don't think he's quite the jerk he was when we were kids. I mean, he was like a big bully. He was a abnormally big kid for his age, and big as in muscular, not big as in fat. And he would take karate, and he was very good at it, and he liked to use it, even though karate says you're not supposed to use it unless it's self-defense. They're supposed to teach you discipline. Hell no. I saw this kid. I went to my last year of high school. This is a different high school than the first one I talked to. My last year of high school, I was in a school with him, and I saw him, and I avoided him like the plague for obvious reasons. I saw him wait at a corner of a hall, and a friend of his would be around the corner and bait somebody, I don't know, slap him, flick him, and then run so that the kid that he flicked would chase him, and then as the kid turned the corner, he would give him a high kick to the jaw and knock him out flat because he could. This is the kind of guy. So fortunately, he doesn't know I punched him in the face. Okay, let's see what else. Okay. Need to go to Barcade sometime. Also, bingo works to keep an arcade too. Oh yeah, bingo. I guess so. Yep. All right. So how long have we been talking? An hour and 30, going on 35 minutes. It's pretty cool, guys. I think I'm going to call it quits now. And this is a nice experiment. I think I will keep this one up for other people to check out and watch. It's been a pleasure talking to you. I really appreciate you. If you want to ask me stuff, you can email me at mamecade@gmail.com, or you can send me something through my YouTube channel. Do check out Hit Reset Radio. The latest episode 10 is up, and I will be talking to you guys soon. Thanks so much, and have a good night. Peace. Let me turn this sucker off now. See ya.